If you're a diehard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. Dillon Gabriel's debut for the Cleveland Browns came with more controversy than clarity, but the narrative around his performance has quickly grown louder than the reality of what actually unfolded on the field. Ever since Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders were both selected by the Browns, the competition between the two has been presented almost like a boxing match with round-by-round analysis. Sanders delivered an impressive first preseason outing, creating an instant comparison that critics latched onto when evaluating Gabriel. But if you dig deeper, beyond the flashy headlines and raw numbers, you'll realize his showing wasn't as disastrous as many fans and analysts are trying to make it sound. The NFL preseason is rarely about clean stat lines. It's about reps, growth, and glimpses of what a player can become. Ryan Clark's breakdown provides a perfect example of why watching the film tells a different story than reading the box score. Looking strictly at numbers, Gabriel's night left a lot to be desired. He completed 13 of 18 passes, which is solid efficiency, but the two turnovers stand out like flashing warning signs. The pick six especially raised eyebrows, since it happened in Eagles territory and echoed mistakes he was occasionally guilty of during his college days. The fumble on the handoff didn't help, either, reinforcing the image of a young quarterback still struggling with decision-making and mechanics under NFL speed. And when you couple that with the glaring absence of any touchdowns, it becomes easy to paint the entire performance as underwhelming or even concerning. Yet, numbers without context rarely tell the full truth in football, especially in a preseason setting where game plans are vanilla, and players are often experimenting with timing, chemistry, and situational awareness rather than hunting for highlight reel production. Ryan Clark, the former NFL defensive back and now analyst, stepped in to provide that missing context. Watching the tape closely, Clark noticed aspects of Gabriel's game that casual fans or stat-focused critics would completely overlook. He highlighted Gabriel's ability to operate with poise on third downs, converting key situations that kept drives alive against an Eagles defense not known for giving rookies an easy time. Efficiency in those moments is something coaches love to see because it translates directly to real NFL football when sustaining drives can be the difference between winning and losing. Clark's observation that the Eagles didn't manage a third down stop until midway through the second quarter is telling. It wasn't until Ojulari beat the left tackle for a sack that Gabriel and the Browns' offense stalled, showing that in pressure moments, he was executing at a level that gives hope for future starts. Clark also pointed out the obvious teaching moments that every rookie quarterback must endure. Gabriel has to learn when to throw the ball away instead of forcing it into coverage, as he did on the interception. That's the kind of decision-making detail that separates starters from backups in the league, and it can only be ironed out through live reps. Similarly, the botched exchange on the fumble is more about chemistry and rhythm with the running back than any deep mechanical flaw. Those are growing pains, not red flags, and it's why preseason football exists in the first place. Clark's analysis strikes a balance between acknowledging those issues and recognizing the positives, which is far more reflective of the truth than the sweeping negativity plastered across social media after the game. Context matters, and in Gabriel's case, the context was far more encouraging than damning. The comparison to Shedeur Sanders was inevitable and perhaps unfair from the beginning. Sanders' debut was smoother, the box score cleaner, and the highlights more exciting. But preseason performances are not carbon copies, and they don't all carry the same weight. Sanders was placed in situations that played to his strengths, and he executed them well, but Gabriel's reps asked him to handle third-down conversions and longer fields. Evaluating one rookie's efficiency against another rookie's flash is a dangerous game because it ignores the unique circumstances each quarterback faced. The Browns' coaching staff isn't making their decision based on which rookie looked more appealing to fans in August. They're digging into tape, execution, and the nuances that tell them which player can consistently move an NFL offense once the regular season begins. It's important to understand that preseason football is not about winning games or creating stat sheet dominance. It's about development. Coaches want to see how players react in different scenarios, how they handle pressure, and whether they can adapt when something goes wrong. Gabriel's night gave them answers to all three. He showed poise under pressure on third downs, He rebounded after the interception without crumbling mentally, and he executed the offense efficiently outside of the turnovers. That resilience is a key trait for any young quarterback trying to make it in the league. Fans often forget that preseason is basically a testing ground, a laboratory where mistakes are expected and often encouraged as part of the growth process. Gabriel's mistakes are fixable. His ability to execute in meaningful situations is not only harder to teach, but far more valuable moving forward. From the perspective of head coach Kevin Stefanski, Gabriel's debut provided more positives than negatives. Stefanski has long valued quarterbacks who can manage games and convert critical downs, traits that often go unnoticed by fans craving big plays. Gabriel delivered those moments, and while he'll need to cut down on turnovers, his baseline skills are already evident. The Browns don't necessarily need their rookie quarterback to light up the preseason with touchdowns. They need him to demonstrate that he understands the offense, can execute under pressure, and won't crumble when faced with NFL defenses. Gabriel checked enough of those boxes to keep himself firmly in the competition with Sanders. In a battle that will likely stretch into the midseason, what matters most is steady improvement, not instant stardom, and Gabriel is on track to deliver that. Fans, of course, tend to live in the moment, and that's understandable. Preseason football doesn't provide many storylines, so when a highly anticipated rookie like Gabriel takes the field, every snap gets magnified beyond reason. But as Clark's breakdown makes clear, football evaluation is far more complicated than reading a stat line. If you watch the tape with an open mind, you saw a rookie quarterback who handled himself well despite a couple of costly mistakes. You also saw flashes of why the Browns believed in him enough to draft him alongside Sanders, knowing the two would inevitably be compared. Gabriel's efficiency, composure, and ability to move the ball against an aggressive Eagles defense matter much more than a fumble and an interception in August. The rivalry between Gabriel and Sanders is shaping up to be one of the most fascinating storylines of the Browns season. While Sanders may have the early edge in fan perception, Gabriel has shown traits that suggest this battle is far from over. Coaches know that the competition will play out over weeks and months, not a single preseason game. Gabriel's ability to keep drives alive, to bounce back from mistakes, and to execute Stefanski's offense effectively will continue to give him opportunities. And in the NFL, opportunities often matter more than first impressions. Fans would be wise to temper their criticisms, because the season is long, and Gabriel's growth is just beginning. This story isn't about who looked better in August. It's about who can win games in December. In the end, Dillon Gabriel's debut wasn't the disaster many are painting it to be. It was a rookie quarterback's first taste of NFL football, filled with both mistakes and encouraging signs. Ryan Clark's detailed breakdown reminds us that football is a nuanced game where context and execution matter more than flashy numbers. Gabriel showed that he can be efficient, accurate, and resilient, even against a tough Eagles defense. He'll need to clean up the turnovers, but that's part of the journey for every young quarterback. The competition with Shedeur Sanders is far from settled, and the Browns coaching staff will be paying close attention to how both rookies progress. For now, Gabriel remains firmly in the fight, and if he continues to show the growth he displayed in his debut, he'll have every chance to seize the starting job when the real games begin. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. Isaiah Bond's arrival at the Cleveland Browns has instantly sent shockwaves through the NFL community, sparking a whirlwind of rumors and speculation about how this young wide receiver will impact the team's offensive dynamics. Fresh off a judicial release, Bond is stepping into a league already filled with expectations, and fans can hardly contain their excitement at the prospect of seeing him on the field. Social media is ablaze with discussions, debates, and bold predictions, with some analysts claiming that his agility and playmaking ability could redefine the Browns' passing game in ways we haven't seen in years. Inside sources suggest that the front office has been quietly monitoring Bond for months, waiting for the right moment to make their move, and now that opportunity has arrived, the city of Cleveland is buzzing with anticipation. The locker room itself is reportedly welcoming, but whispers hint at a certain tension, as established players are eager to see if Bond can handle the pressure of high-stakes competition without missing a beat. Word on the street is that Bond's transition into the Browns system might not be entirely smooth, given the intricate playbooks and high expectations set by the coaching staff. Yet insiders are claiming that his mental fortitude and adaptability are second to none, hinting at a rookie who could not only survive but thrive in a pressure cooker environment. Rumors circulating suggest that team meetings are already highlighting his potential as a key target for the quarterback, with some projecting that he could become the Browns' primary red zone threat within weeks. While skeptics question his off-field history, the locker room chatter paints a very different picture, one of determination, focus, and a desire to prove himself to both teammates and fans alike. The media is feeding the frenzy, running headline after headline speculating on how Bond's presence might shift defensive schemes across the league, forcing opponents to reconsider coverage strategies against Cleveland. Even casual fans are now engaging in heated online debates, discussing whether Bond's speed, route running, and hands are enough to elevate the team to playoff contention in an incredibly competitive conference. Adding fuel to the fire, whispers from anonymous sources suggest that the Browns coaching staff has been secretly designing plays specifically to maximize Bond's skill set, with intricate route combinations aimed at exploiting defensive mismatches. It's reported that film sessions have been dominated by discussions about how to integrate him seamlessly, and some believe that his presence could encourage more dynamic offensive formations, potentially altering the balance between the run and pass game. Rumors abound that veteran receivers are giving him advice on reading defenses and adjusting mid-play, creating a mentorship vibe that insiders claim is both intense and supportive. Meanwhile, sports betting circles are allegedly reacting to the news, with odds on passing yards and receptions for the season reportedly shifting dramatically, highlighting the market's acknowledgement of Bond's potential impact. Fans at training camp are buzzing as well, with eyewitness accounts describing crowds gathering to catch glimpses of his first practices, amplifying the sense of anticipation surrounding his debut. The chatter even extends to fantasy football enthusiasts, who are now eyeing him as a possible breakout candidate, despite limited professional experience, which only adds to the excitement and speculation permeating every corner of NFL fandom. Scuttlebutt from within the league suggests that Bond's unique combination of size, speed, and field awareness might make him a nightmare matchup for defensive backs across the league, with some insiders predicting that he could force multiple teams to adjust their game plans significantly. Rumors are swirling that rival coaches are already reviewing his college tape, trying to anticipate tendencies and weaknesses, while others are quietly acknowledging that the Browns have potentially unearthed a hidden gem capable of changing game outcomes. Meanwhile, local media is reportedly preparing special coverage dedicated solely to following Bond's journey, from training sessions to personal interviews, highlighting the city's obsession with this rising talent. Team executives are allegedly thrilled with the positive attention, noting that the buzz could enhance recruitment, marketing, and fan engagement in ways previously untapped. Social media trends underscore the phenomenon, with hashtags, memes, and highlight compilations circulating almost nonstop, painting Bond as the next big thing in Cleveland sports culture. Even veteran sports writers are reportedly revising long-term projections, debating whether Bond could secure a place among the franchise's all-time greats if his rookie season unfolds as expected. Insiders are quietly hinting that there might be an unspoken challenge within the team regarding Bond's integration, as some established players could perceive him as a direct competitor for targets and playing time. Rumors from locker room sources suggest that these dynamics are being managed carefully, with coaches encouraging collaboration and emphasizing the collective goal of team success over individual glory. Analysts speculate that the initial weeks will be crucial, as Bond must demonstrate not only his athletic abilities, but also his capacity to maintain composure under scrutiny, adapt to defensive strategies, and earn the trust of the quarterback. Meanwhile, fan forums are exploding with opinion pieces, video analyses, and endless speculation, all contributing to a pervasive sense that this is the start of something significant for the Browns franchise. The excitement is not limited to Cleveland. Rival fanbases are reportedly monitoring developments closely, both out of respect for his talent and concern for how his emergence might tilt competitive balance. With every practice, interview, and social media post, the narrative around Bond grows more elaborate, blending anticipation, skepticism, and hope into a combustible mix of chatter that no NFL observer can ignore. Further whispers suggest that Bond has been working tirelessly behind the scenes, refining techniques, studying film, and even engaging in unconventional training methods to ensure readiness for the NFL stage. Rumors imply that some of his drills are so secretive that even teammates are unaware of the exact regimen, hinting at a level of dedication and intensity that has captivated insiders. Scouts allegedly note that this preparation could allow him to make an immediate impact despite the mid-season timing of his arrival, positioning him as a potential X-factor in the Browns' offensive schemes. Some sources are claiming that his chemistry with the starting quarterback is developing faster than expected, with on-field improvisation showing flashes of intuitive understanding, fueling speculation about future highlights and game-winning plays. Meanwhile, local businesses and media are reportedly capitalizing on the hype, creating merchandise, content, and events centered on Bond, highlighting the cultural and economic ripple effects of his signing. Across platforms, the speculation intensifies daily, feeding the narrative of a player who might not only redefine a season, but also capture the hearts and imaginations of fans nationwide, leaving everyone eagerly waiting for his first official game appearance. Rumors within. Sports circles suggest that Bond's presence could potentially influence draft strategies, free agent acquisitions, and even contract negotiations, as teams reevaluate talent pipelines in response to his arrival. Sources claim that front offices are quietly reassessing wide receiver depth charts, taking into account Bond's potential to outperform projections and alter competitive calculations. Some insiders believe that his unique blend of skill, athleticism, and mental resilience might force a reevaluation of defensive schemes league-wide, creating a ripple effect extending far beyond the Browns. Meanwhile, commentators speculate that Bond could become a mentor figure for future rookies, with his off-field diligence and drive serving as a blueprint for newcomers aiming to succeed in high-pressure NFL environments. Fans are increasingly obsessed, sharing clips, analysis, and predictions across social media, fueling a constant cycle of rumor and counter-rumor. The narrative is so pervasive that even casual observers are aware of his arrival, with word of mouth, podcasts, and viral posts amplifying the sense that Bond's journey is not just a story. It's a cultural moment in professional football that demands attention at every level. The rumor mill also hints at potential strategic shifts, with coaches allegedly exploring multiple formations and route combinations designed specifically for Bond's strengths. Analysts claim that these experimental approaches could unlock new dimensions in the Browns' offense, transforming previously predictable schemes into dynamic and unpredictable plays. Insiders suggest that Bond's ability to read defenses and adjust routes mid-play could become a cornerstone of offensive strategy, creating mismatches that opponents struggle to counter. Meanwhile, fan communities are buzzing with hypothetical scenarios, imagining spectacular catches, touchdowns, and game-defining moments, painting an almost cinematic narrative around his debut. Sports talk shows are reportedly dedicating entire segments to debating how Bond might influence the season's outcome, with experts weighing in on his potential to lead the league in key statistics. Even rival teams are apparently paying close attention, evaluating whether Bond's integration requires defensive overhauls and tactical reconsiderations. Every piece of news, whether confirmed or speculative, seems to magnify the perception that Bond could quickly emerge as a transformative figure in Cleveland sports history, blending talent, hype, and narrative into an electrifying mix. Rumors from within the Browns organization suggest that training sessions are already being tailored to test Bond's endurance, route precision, and compatibility with existing offensive structures. Coaches allegedly coordinate drills that challenge not only his physical skills, but also decision-making under duress, mirroring high-pressure game scenarios designed to accelerate adaptation. Sources whisper that veteran players are providing unofficial mentorship, sharing insights on timing, spacing, and quarterback tendencies, all in an effort to maximize Bond's immediate contribution. Meanwhile, online communities are dissecting footage, debating minute details of his movement, acceleration, and reception technique, creating an ever-growing archive of speculation and analysis. Fans reportedly gather in record numbers at practice sessions, hoping for glimpses of spectacular catches, signaling a communal excitement rarely seen for a newly signed player. The continuous buzz surrounding Bond has apparently prompted marketing teams and content creators to craft narratives that emphasize his journey, turning every practice, interview, and social media post into a potential headline, thus feeding an ever-expanding rumor ecosystem that merges sport, culture, and anticipation in a unique and captivating way. Insider whispers suggest that Bond's influence could extend beyond on-field performance, potentially reshaping locker room dynamics and team culture. Reports hint that his work ethic, focus, and resilience are setting a new standard, with teammates either inspired to match his intensity or nervously adjusting to the presence of a high-profile newcomer. Rumors indicate that the coaching staff is leveraging this energy, attempting to foster cohesion and maximize synergy, while media outlets amplify these developments to create a compelling storyline for fans. Analysts speculate that Bond's arrival might accelerate the development of other young players, serving as a catalyst for overall team improvement and possibly influencing future drafting and scouting decisions. Meanwhile, fantasy football enthusiasts reportedly track every catch, yard, and reception, while casual fans follow his social media activity, generating a multi-layered narrative blending performance, persona, and speculation. The city itself seems entranced, with conversations in sports bars, online forums, and community events reflecting an almost mythic anticipation surrounding a rookie who, until recently, was operating outside the public eye but now stands at the center of a storm of rumors, expectations, and potential. Whispers indicate that the Browns' marketing and public relations teams are reportedly strategizing to maximize the hype surrounding Bond's integration, with special campaigns, behind-the-scenes footage, and community events designed to immerse fans in his journey. Analysts suggest that this buzz could translate into increased ticket sales, merchandise revenue, and national attention, with some speculating that the hype may extend beyond football into broader pop culture. Meanwhile, the rumor mill continues to churn, fueled by insider reports of intense practices, evolving offensive strategies, and subtle psychological games aimed at strengthening team cohesion. Social media platforms reportedly erupt daily with reactions, predictions, and debates, giving Bond a level of visibility that even established veterans might envy. Scouts, commentators, and rival teams allegedly monitor every development closely, weighing the implications for defensive planning and player evaluation. The cumulative effect of this whirlwind of information, speculation, and anticipation is a landscape where every practice, touchdown, and media interaction is magnified, creating a narrative that portrays Isaiah Bond not just as a new addition to the Browns, but as a potentially transformative figure whose impact will be dissected, debated, and celebrated for seasons to come. Finally, insiders hint that the upcoming games could serve as the ultimate proving ground for Bond, with every snap, reception, and breakaway run scrutinized by fans, analysts, and rival teams alike. Rumors suggest that early performances will set the tone, either validating the hype surrounding his signing or raising questions about adaptation and readiness. Meanwhile, the Browns' coaching staff is allegedly preparing a balanced approach, blending caution with opportunity to ensure Bond can demonstrate his skill set while mitigating risk. Social media speculation is reaching fever pitch, with highlight reels, memes, and analytical breakdowns proliferating across platforms, creating an ecosystem where rumor and reality intertwine. Fans reportedly engage in spirited discussions about potential breakout games, record-setting performances, and comparisons to historical wide receivers, further cementing the narrative that Bond's journey is both a personal and collective spectacle. The city, the league, and the broader football community are collectively holding their breath, aware that the debut of Isaiah Bond could mark a pivotal moment in Cleveland Browns history, a story of redemption, talent, and high-stakes anticipation that is as thrilling as it is unpredictable, feeding an endless cycle of discussion, excitement, and rumor that shows no signs of slowing down. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!